Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roach Wiggle, April 18th, 2024. The first one since the auction, and I can say I'm nearly recovered from the auction. Thanks again to everybody who participated. We got an interesting assemblage here ahead of time. We got Frank the Tank, Henya Pong, Darren, LC, Zen Monkey, Laura Taylor, Eric Matthews. Oh, hey, Eric. Like the roaches who experienced total eclipse in Texas. That's great. That's a talking point. So this is going to be a shorter live stream today because I have acquired assistance for doing isopod husbandry tonight. Brandon is coming over to work for the first time in a very long time. I managed to bribe him with a mixture of working and taking some time to watch some shows and whatnot between sets of bugs. So I'm going to take advantage of that, and we'll probably wrap the live stream up as soon as I see him pull up. So hello, we got Anthony Green, Behijager, Dewey. We got obviously there's a lot going on right now. It's mostly been for new stuff. It's just been the auction. JoJo's here. Welcome. It's basically just been the auction stuff. By the end of the day tomorrow, I should have my inboxes cleared multiple times over. So, yeah. Just got a very interesting email earlier, everybody. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a response. How do I word what I'm about to say? So completely unrelated to everything while everybody's pouring in here. Exotic Wilderness, Stephen Logan, Braden, Allen, welcome. Going to be a shorter live stream today to everybody who's just now entering. I ended up getting some assistance for doing isopod work tonight, and so I'm going to fully capitalize on that when he gets here. For those, some other notes really quick before I get to this email I just responded to. We got goats. There's a YouTube short of them. Their names are Betsy and Bo. So that's been a 3 times a day commitment amidst everything else going on. And auction stuff is pretty much I'll have kind of cleared over the inbox again by the end of the day tomorrow, and then be taking the weekend off I got to go do an outreach thing on Saturday, and I can't remember what I'm doing Sunday. But so anyways, this email that I just got, I got the original email a couple hours ago, and I responded. There's a researcher from Harvard who is working in the entomology lab, and heard, is it Bo or Bo? It's BEAU, as was recommended in the auction live stream. I talked over Boop versus Bo, and when we went to pick up the goats, I said, okay, I'm going to see if this goat is going to be a Bo or a Boop. And when I picked her up, I just felt, okay, she's a Bo. She's definitely not a Boop. She's definitely a Bo. So, LC, was it you who recommended Bo? I think it might have been. If so, thank you for that. Really quick before I lose my train of thought. So it's kind of a please don't forget to like. Thank you, Zero Cool Ninja. It is a little known fact that Dolo Orum is actually a nomen nudum. The publication that Roth had in the publication that Roth was going to put out actually never got published before he died. And so Doralea orani is actually a nomen nudum. And this researcher is going to be working on actually describing them. And I wanted to make it clear. I guess they couldn't get in touch with Oren, which is kind of funny. But they wanted to get specimens from me for the description. But apparently, because a specimen was deposited and then lost or destroyed with the nomen nudum of Doralea orani, that name actually cannot be used. So I made it clear to this person that I would only provide specimens if Doralea orani, if they were going to keep the Latin name. And he then explained, we actually can't do that. Then he explained, but we can add another I. We can use his last name or use a combination of the first and last names. And so I said, yes, that preserves the spirit of what I was, hoping to stand my ground on with that. So it looks like within the next, I don't know, couple of years or year, Doralea orani is going to be formally described. And that also makes me wonder if I could or should get them some of this potentially undescribed Doralea to them. I'm still hoping one of these days we'll get a Candyllioni, one of these days, and something, or Candyllionensis or Candyllion or whatever. A man can dream. So yeah, those that's what's happening for everybody who's really on the edge of their seats, who love the species Doralea orani. Get ready. It's probably going to be changed to something else. They apparently can't stay as orani, so it'll be Orinii with two I's at the end, or it might be McMonagallii after Oren's last name. I think he's trying to contact Oren to figure out what he wants. So I mean, it would be pulling the rug out from underneath somebody. It's been called Doralea orani for as long as the species has been in captivity, which is probably as long as it's been known about. It's been in captivity longer than we've known that it was a new species, or that it was that was a unique Doralea species. So that's that. So we're going to see how that goes. What the exact results of that are. Trying to think of other stuff that's going on here. Some more isopods came in this week. Restart to my Citala horrida colony so I can start mass producing them again. Goats has been a thing. I did all my yard work. Yard's looking great in the front, ready for the growing season. Deer haven't really been coming around. One of my neighbors down the street got his whole, a lot of the properties on this side of the street had, I don't know, maybe a fifth of an acre, a fourth of an acre of intact forest at the back. I mean, most of it's flooded with buckthorn and honeysuckle, but there's still all the old growth trees. There's still all the oaks and cherries and whatnot that's been here since before people were here. Just maybe a week ago, it was during the auction. I had to run and go get my other neighbor's chickens. But that the other neighbor was having his woods gutted, so he had the land completely cleared except for like one tree that had a squirrel nest in it. But that disruption, plus I got dogs, that neighbor's got dogs, my neighbor Karen's got dogs, and a bunch of other things. The deer have completely changed their behavior and are no longer really frequenting the street, which is great for the vegetation. I hate to be a hypocrite. I do kind of miss seeing them here and there, but not enough to try to go out of my way to track them. This is a more natural behavior that they don't just get to walk the same mile stretch every day and find all of their food and get a nice blob of corn and bed down by the dozen in somebody's backyard. It's more natural behavior for them to have to roam further. So it's better for them, and it'll be more of a treat when I actually do see one now. But anyways, so yeah, the vegetation's really coming in well. I haven't really had to protect much. I have seen some stuff get munched a little, but the deer definitely are not are not just wallowing in the same spot all day and night like they were as recently as 2 years ago, or well, less than that, I guess, as recently as a year ago or last fall. Time difficult to keep track of. So that's all going well. Angela and I are going to go plan out our course of action for the move next Saturday. We're going to next Wednesday or Thursday, I think it's Wednesday, we're going to go wedding band shopping, and all things going well considered, by the end of May, we're going to be legally married. Woo! Which doesn't mean too much to me because I'm not going to get philosophical here, but the spiritual marriage is the more important thing to me. But we said we were not going to live together until we were married, so legal marriage kind of covers a big chunk of that. The actual spiritual ceremony will be sometime during the summer, once we've kind of got a better grasp on, timetable for moving and bug building and all this other stuff. So we're just going to have something small for the legal marriage. We're just going to have just kind of some close relatives get married at the courthouse, go out to eat, and that'll just be kind of it. Derek Niehaus. Oh, hey, Derek. Says congrats. Niehaus. Derek, I always forget how to say your last name. I know you told me once already, but for some reason I just can't. It doesn't stick. And why do I have this tooth flosser here? Back over there. Do you have any Curtinotis or Listrodarius costerosters? Just wondering, because I have thousands in my yard. I have never even heard of either of those genera. Weevils. Some things that I would like to try playing around with. A weevil and a ground beetle. Kind of holding off and stuff I have to really figure out the husbandry for now. That's gonna be put off until the move, I do believe, when I have more space and resources. Dewey says, geez, my wife and I did something similar. Trad wedding is again, the spiritual marriage is supposed to be what matters. It's supposed to be whatever your religious belief may be. That is the bonding of the souls spiritually. The legal marriage is kind of is just a tax write-off for making babies. That's about it, for making more citizens. That's a bit reductive, but there's nothing really beautiful in legal marriage in my eyes, and Angela's very, very well aware of my sentiments on that. So Luke says, how long have you been together? I am, and spiritual married is what I believe as well. We've been talking since November 2022. We started being official on January 1st, 2023. So we're at about a year and a quarter now, a little over a year and a quarter. A little over a year and a quarter, a year and a third. So we both want to get our life going. We don't want to. We both dated. We've both done all this stuff, and we just kind of want to get things going. We're not going to be young and the epitome of human beauty forever. Maybe not. Funerals are also somewhat of a scam. Have you seen coffin prices? That's another thing. I want to be cremated and my ashes scattered to the winds, either at U of M Dearborn or on my own property out in the pasture. We're going to see how that goes. Dewey says, "No, I mean like a large celebration type S thing. We still both had our legal and yeah. It's the thing. I know several people who've had these big ceremonies and we're so happy and all this stuff, and then they're divorced like 2 years later. And it's like, why did you do that? Like the ceremony was not cheap. It was so much work and effort to plan. You had all these people there, and then you turn around 2 years later and the whole thing falls apart. It's crazy. What's the anniversary going to be? Eric, we haven't really figured that out yet. We're just going to kind of go with the flow on that. I imagine it'll be the spiritual ceremony thing. I would imagine. Stephen Logan says, we have an estimate for stuff starting to ship out. Everybody's shipping estimates you will receive an email when I confirm your address, etc., which I've gotten. Let me look at my numbers here. I've gotten about a little over halfway through all of the secondary contacts to confirm addresses and payments. So within a week of being confirmed for your address and payment, I will have your estimated ship dates for stuff. It's looking like stuff's going to really start going out in earnest probably April 30th. We do have a bit of cold weather coming up in Michigan the next week. Nothing really below freezing, but enough that some tropical isopods will probably be uncomfortable. Probably would kill the Cubaris species white pigeon, whoever's getting some of those. But so it's looking like probably the 30th is when stuff's really going to start going out. And then I'm just going to laser focus in on it and really maybe even knock it out in 3 to 4 weeks, everything. I'm pretty organized this time around. I mean, I've been getting better every time. I think your mistake about it being a tax write-off. Better talk to an accountant. It's supposed to be a what is it? You get a tax credit, was it, or you get a joint filing rate or something like that. My apologies for not using the exact proper term. General reduction in money, especially per dependent. Hive Helopolis says, just give me back to nature. Yeah, that's kind of the plan, especially if my family ends up living where my ashes end up getting yeeted. You know, it's like, oh, we're gonna be having some milk. That's dad right there. We're gonna eat some eggs. It's a little bit of dad right there. Start the colony of Candilians. That is the plan. Why not consumed by larvae instead of creating? You know, it's a little less graceful. A little less graceful. Inevitably, I would be consumed by some sort of larvae if I'm combusted and scattered onto the land. But I think as much as I love bugs, I don't necessarily want to be eaten by them. But I like the idea of being turned into plants. I like that, a bit more romantic. So, Cubaris species cost-efficient cremation. Calcium in your bones is probably good for some species. Another big thing of business. Again, everybody, I see we have 28 people. That is fantastic, and I would love to keep that momentum into the future. But I'll remind everybody, Brandon is coming to help me do isopod husbandry tonight, which is something I absolutely cannot pass up because it takes me maybe 1 or 2 days to do all my isopods on my own. But if I have one person helping me, it cuts the time it cuts it down to as much of an eighth or even less because I have somebody to ferry containers back and forth while I'm working on them. So I need to capitalize on them. What about sent to a body farm, says Zeiss. Google marriage tax penalty. Oh, baby, what am I about to learn that I didn't know before? If the partners pay more income tax as a married couple, they pay a marriage penalty if the partners pay more income tax as a married couple than they would pay as unmarried individuals. Conversely, the couple receives a marriage bonus if the partners pay less income tax as a married couple than they would pay as unmarried individuals. Well, it seems that I gotta hope that we pay less as a married couple then. But yeah, wow, what a crazy thing. I will. Somebody revisit this topic at a Roach Crossing After Dark session so I can go off on about something. Eric Mann says, need help identifying a tan flying roach from Texas. Please see photo and email from Zoolog. I'm just going to go and hit that up right now. And why can't I seem to find that? If it was just sent through... Oh, those are probably Aranavega tonkawa, it looks like, Eric. Those appear to be Aranavega tonkawa adult males, so unfortunately you can't start a colony with them, but it's a nifty find. Now you know there's Aranavega in that area. What was this other big important thing I was going to bring up before we talked about body farms and whatnot? Behigiger, Kyle, are you working with Eustogasta buprestoides? I'm not at the moment, but I am. Here, I'll type it out here, Eric. Behigiger, I am not at the moment, but I am hopefully on or near the top of the list for people who are supposed to receive them when they are made available. Elsie's going back to Santa Barbara to hopefully find more Harpogonopus confluentis. Oh, yes, those guys. I didn't really want to work with those. They seem like they might be relatively easy as a small flat. Hyphalopolis says, how much more blue would you say the Panchlora little mantian are now than when you first obtained? The blue strain that I'm working on is bluer than the average member of the colony, but is nowhere near as blue as the male in that picture, which was somewhat freshly molted, but did retain the majority of that coloration over its life. So the project is going well. It's still not anywhere near as good as that picture was, which that individual is just a stand-up. So selective breeding is having a noticeable effect, and if I keep with it, I think within 10 generations it will be very noticeable. And by it will be prominent in the selected line after 10 generations, because we're on an F2 now, I think, and it's looking mostly on the females, which was surprising because that good individual that's in the picture was a male. I haven't really seen that intensity on the males, but the females have it kind of perpetually, even into their old age, which is good. Okay, the thing I was going to bring up as I stumble over my words and try to get as much stuff in here before Brandon shows up is Chris and I had a very constructive session over phone last night on the website update, and it is just from the conversation we had. It's amazing. It looks like the test site that I'm looking at right now is really perfect. I mean, there's some spacing stuff and some other things, and there's the bones are looking really good. Here, the bones are looking very good, and it's seeming like a release is on the horizon, on the very near horizon. Asterisk, without full flavor texts and without pictures. So just getting the site up in its current formatting is looking good, but without the polish. So everything, the layouts, all this stuff, all the new pages should go live and should be thumbs up looking. But the polish of, okay, all the nice pictures and the flavor text is not going to be there. But the raw data, the raw numbers on everything that people have been wanting for sizes and heat and blah, 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 and just to know all the stuff that I have, that's going to go up again like that. We're just finishing, I guess we're kind of just finishing the Roach stuff, and the other bug stuff is going to is going to go up, but we're making some progress. It's probably going to take another couple phone sessions to kind of really narrow things in, but it's looking really good. So that's the good news. It's just going to take me some time to sit down. I got to go through JoJo's pictures still. I got to figure out the system for labeling and routing, the script or whatever Chris is running that pulls spreadsheet data. He just slaps it on the website so we can get primary pictures and secondary pictures, and so that you click on a picture and it changes it, or you can pull it up or what have you. Hoping the site includes cohabitation / cleanup crew suggestions. That's going to be a tall order because there's so many different things. But, the nice thing there is you can go through roaches that have certain care needs and then go through the isopod sort and pick ones that have the same parameters you set for roaches and see what overlap there is there. And then, of course, you can do your final consultation email with me to say, it's a good idea to put Cubaris species rubber ducky with my orange head cockroaches, and then I can give you a little extra on top of that. Hope that's how does this sound promising, especially for male management. Oh, about the blue Panchlora. Yeah, it is very promising. It's just going to take time. Going to take a lot of time, I think. Can't wait to see what you and Luch got cooking for the site. That would be Chris. Luch is not working on the site. Sorry, Luch. It is Chris Sniper. Can't wait to see all the hidden new animals Roach Crossing has once the site. It's a lot. I've already been by request. I've already been sending out. I have some distribution copies of the lists that are going to launch with the site, and they're already out of date. Just 3-4 months after I got them. So I'll just I got to go through and update everything kind of all at once. Once we get everything pulling properly and all that, that everything's going to need an update. Luch can't wait for the site. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good on launch. Again, it's probably going to look very similar to the way it currently does. Nav bar is going to be on the side instead of up top. There's going to be a different banner image. I'm hoping maybe next Saturday I'll get one of where Roach Crossing is about to be put, and then a picture of the building after it's built will go up there for a while as the banner. And again, kind of expect when I say the website overhaul is done, and then you go to the website and say, "Oh boy, I can't wait to see how cool and different it looks." And you get there and you're like, "Oh, this kind of looks the same." It's going to be diving into the actual things. Then you'll go to look at species. You'll go to look at the roach species list, and you'll see, oh wow, there's 300 different things here laid out for me to choose from. I wish I could narrow this down a little bit or search for the species that I really want, and the search will be optimized so that you can do that. And then you'll find the detailed species stats page, and you will get all the information you will want about that species, statistics and whatnot. And then obviously flavor text and photos will come down the road. So can I send you a small vid of Paranophita Formosana? I gave them a new setup for them, and you can just get to it whenever. Yes, go right ahead, Elsie. I'll have time again either later tonight or tomorrow when I do emails. Exotic Wilderness, I do have Spherulo Species Dream. I do have those. Luch says the school man went to school for CNS, computer networking, and security, as well as graphic design art. So you need help. I got you. There's so many people who are willing to help with some of the stuff, and I really do appreciate it. There's little bits and pieces of stuff that will need to be done here and there. JoJo's had me covered on kind of quick graphics for stuff. I asked for a donate button with one picture, and JoJo sent me like 7 different options, and most of them were amazing and better than anything I could create. So it's very nice. But again, text for all the pages is done. As far as the about us and the terms of service and all that stuff, that's all taken care of. And as are the real number stats for the bulk of everything, it's just going to be a I am a Chris. That's why. Yes, that's right. I'm so used to calling you Luch instead of Chris. But yeah, so a lot of stuff happening right now. It's going to be nuts. I'm hoping there'll be. We're creeping up on 1K subscribers. We're creeping up on it. 783 subscribers. Phenomenal, wonderful. I imagine after I get the bug building built and I do some shorts and Instagram and all that other stuff gets up and going, I really do think that subscribers are going to start to boost up again, and we'll end up with our Roach Crossing After Dark special. I'll make that 784. Thank you so much for subscribing. You still keep mantids? If so, what species are you keeping? I mostly stock mantids nowadays, and it just so happens that the enclosures I keep to stock stuff are also great for breeding stuff. So just from stocking some species that I was just selling as inventory in the last 6 months, let's see, what species did I breed? Creobroder Gematis, bred communally in one of my sales setups. Kenyan flower, was it Theopropus elegans? Theopropus elegans, bred communally. Who else bred communally? Odomantis. Odomantis micans, or is it Odontomantis? I think it's Odomantis. Sorry, it is Odontomantis. Odontomantis micans, the shining ant mantids. Those actually bred in the in the setup. I have dreams of breeding continually other species of mantids that most people kind of give up on after a couple generations, but that's going to be a post-move thing for sure. There will be a designated mantid zone, and the reason for that is they do need pretty much daily care. I can hear my alarm going off for putting out my trash / wrapping up the stream. If anybody has any questions, please ask away now. Again, I'm going to wrap the stream up early. Brandon will be here any minute, and I'm going to go slave away at isopods with him. And then again, tomorrow, get back to rather finish the inbox, going it over one more time. So if you send an inquiry or if you have pending auction stuff, I will be getting to that tomorrow. And we'll be getting some ship dates out to people very soon. Luch says, yeah, you should have way over 50,000 subscribers, but it's going to make the auction so insane, super intense, even though they already are. We met my goal for this live stream a long time ago. 20 regular viewers as the sun intensifies in my face. 20 regular viewers. That's actually not the worst lighting. Okay, now it's getting a little bit overwhelming. 20 regular viewers and 500 subscribers was the goal. We hit it. People also get to see my gorgeous face once a week. And if somebody needs to pester me about an order, they know I'm going to be here 7 p.m. Eastern time, and they can do it in the chat, etc. It's again a good way to keep in touch with everybody. Although I have to say, everybody, the Wiggle's going to come to an end, to a hiatus in the not near future, but in the future, probably within the next 3 months. We're going to wave goodbye to the Wiggle for a bit because the move is just going to take everything out of everybody in my direct sphere of friends and family. It's going to be a lot. There's going to be probably a week of driving back and forth between here and the new building. And I also have my desk facing my window. Never again, says Dewey. Penyapong Darren, any suggestions for cohabbing roaches with Porcelli ornatus? Yeah, let me touch on that really quick. I had Uricotis and ornatus take it really dry. Like, they're one of the most dry tolerant isopods, I think. So I had them with other stuff that kind of like similar, like Uricotis improcera. They did well with those. I've kept them with hissers before. Stuff with, again, doesn't necessarily have to be dry, but good ventilation and not soaking wet. So a lot of bigger roaches, and maybe stuff on the other end of the spectrum, like smaller roaches. But I don't think I'd keep Porcelli ornatus with like I guess Uricotis and Prosperous in the same size range as them. I don't know. I would give them some experimenting. Again, they did really well with the Improcera, and they did really well with just Portentosa. Crawfordorina portentosa. Galinthia semina. Thank you, Hyphalopolis, for, and there's Brandon, for correcting that. Galinthia semina. That was right, not Theopompa. So, will the auction shipments make it to their destination before mid-May? I'll be going on an extended trip soon. I think I have to get to your email still, Duke and Enzo, but with that information known, I will try to push your stuff up to the priority part of the queue. So, did you turn off the super chat? That's a whole other can of worms. Live streaming the husbandry someday. I can go over, well, just a few dozen species. Probably in the office, I'll do a live stream. It's kind of hard to hold this and do all the work I need to in a bin. But everybody, the dogs are alerting me that Brandon is here. So I got to get going so that he and I can make the most out of work tonight. So thanks for the auction, everybody. Again, if you have a pending email, I'll be getting to it tomorrow. And we will have another Roach Wiggle next week. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We do still have a good couple months of wiggling left. So I will see you all next week. And until then and beyond, may your cultures, especially the ones you're getting from the auction, may your cultures ever be bountiful, everybody. And I will see you all next week.